Ryan Coogler's newest film, Sinners, is blowing up the box office, and it's one of the best films I've seen this year. Lots of people are calling it a horror film or a vampire flick. I guess, but it's so much more. To me, it's a thesis on black culture and the so-called culture vultures who co-opt black culture as their own without fully understanding or respecting it. Hi, I'm Mike. I studied film, I work in TV, and I love movies. If you're watching this, I'm going to assume you saw Sinners and are familiar with Ryan Coogler's work. I left this movie with my jaw on the floor. There was just so much to unpack. It took me a couple of days to collect my thoughts on it. So today, I want to discuss some of the themes running through Sinners, and there are many. Let's start with the obvious. Coogler manifested the 7 deadly sins in 7 of his characters on screen. They're right there in plain sight. Starting with Sloth. That's Preacher Boy. I know what you're thinking. Sloth is Cornbread, right? But we meet Cornbread while he's working in a field, and his only mistake in the film is when he leaves his post for a bio break in the woods. I wouldn't call that lazy. Besides, in the biblical sense, sloth is defined as a spiritual apathy or empathy with God. Preacher Boy is dismissive with his father in the church at the beginning and doesn't heed his warning. He reads his prayers quickly just so he can play his guitar. Then there's Gluttony. That's Delroy Lindo's character, Delta Slim. He doesn't play for money, he plays for alcohol. As long as the drinks keep flowing, he'll be playing. Envy? Well, that's Remick, the vampire. He wants Sammy's gift of music. He wants the power that Sammy can wield with it. Perline, she's lust. She's a married woman, and her only role in the film is to seduce Sammy. Grace is pride. She has an inflated sense of self-importance. I'm talking about the scene where she's negotiating with Stack about the sign, but also in the climax of the film where she's about to put the entire group at risk for what she wants. Speaking of Stack, he's greed. He's the business mind of the pair. So that leaves Smoke. Well, Smoke is wrath. He shoots the guy in the ass for rummaging through his car, but most importantly, he stays behind to seek vengeance on the Klansmen when they return the next morning. Next up, let's talk about how Sinners reimagines the classic Robert Johnson tale. Allegedly, Johnson sold his soul to the devil at the Crossroads for the ability to play music. Sinners offers a slightly different take. The prevailing theory Sinners puts forth is, through music, people can communicate with their ancestors. It can provide a connection far into the past and reach decades into the future to distant generations yet to be born. These far separated generations can speak to one another through music. In Sinners, music is a gift that the devil wants to steal, not a gift he's offering as in the Robert Johnson tale. There's an amazing scene where this plays out. Preacher Boy finds his groove while performing and literally burns a hole in time and space. In one long tracking shot, the juke joint burns to the ground as musicians from the black community, past and future, come together to play in one giant jam session. It's all love, it's all community, everyone is vibing, everyone's in sync. But this kind of outpouring of community summons dark forces in the form of a vampire. What is happening thematically is so impressive that I could talk about it all day. For the first hour, maybe hour and a half of the film, Coogler invites us into this world, invites us into the lives of the people that live in this oppressive moment in history. He invites us to be a part of building something that will just be for them, or just for us. The juke joint. It's not just black people. There's a Chinese family who owns the local grocery store, and most importantly, Mary, Stack's ex-lover. Mary is half white and can walk between worlds, much like the vampires walk between the living and the dead. She can be black when she needs to be, but she can pass as white when she needs to be. But Mary is invited in as family because she knows them, she respects them, she knows where they're from. The thing that stood out to me in such a rich cultural film is the adherence to the old vampire myth that they must be invited in. That's what led me down this path of the invitation into the culture as a theme. As monster lore goes, vampires not being able to enter unless invited seems a little silly. These bloodthirsty creatures are at the door and they can't cross the threshold because they weren't invited? But that's exactly why Coogler selected vampires and not werewolves or ogres or ghosts or aliens. Coogler spends so much time inviting us, the movie-going audience, into his movie and very clearly explaining that if you come with love in your heart, you're welcomed as family. But if you come with hate or evil in your heart, you are not welcomed. The rest of the movie is this battle between good and evil, light and dark, oppression and freedom. Oh, and it's not lost on me that the lead vampire, Remick, is of Irish descent. He makes a comment that his land was stolen too, by Christians. In his homeland, he was the oppressed. He comes to the juke joint offering the oppressed black people power to take on their oppressors, offers them the power to fight the KKK. It's a tempting offer, but he comes using their culture against them. He speaks Mandarin to the shopkeeper, co-opting the Chinese culture as his own. Remick consumes culture and memories of the people he bites, but he's not absorbing their culture because he loves it or respects it. He uses their culture and memories to become more powerful. He really wants Sammy because of the preacher boy's gift of music. He doesn't want Sammy to share his musical gift with him, perform for him. He wants to take preacher boy's gift as his own. Thematically, the vampire is what is referred to as a culture vulture, someone who exploits a culture for their own gain, someone who appropriates elements of a culture or style without fully understanding or respecting its origin. I went back and rewatched Creed, another of Coogler's films, and noticed the same dynamics at play. Creed is about Adonis Donnie Creed, son of Apollo Creed, wanting to follow in his father's footsteps and train to be a world-class boxer. He seeks out the help of Apollo's rival turned friend Rocky Balboa. Donnie is both an insider and an outsider in the world of boxing. He comes from boxing royalty and was brought up in bougie Los Angeles, in the lap of luxury, but behind that pedigree, Donnie is a street kid, an illegitimate child of the famous boxer who bounced from one juvenile detention center to another. Donnie walks between worlds, like Mary, who walks between black and white cultures. Donnie walks between boxing cultures, between the lofty confines of elite training and the wilds of street fighting. Coogler invites us this time into the world of Philadelphia street boxing in the same way he invited us into the world of 1932 Mississippi. Rocky, like Donnie, walks between these worlds also. Sure, he's a world-class boxer and a champ, but he's from the street. He has the eye of the tiger. He knows the struggle. There are so many elements that ingratiate us into Philly's black culture that we feel like we're a part of it. Ryan Coogler has an amazing way of making films about the black community without alienating people who are not from that community. But in each film, the caveat is respect. Respect our culture, and we will accept you in. The filmmakers we respect and trust are the ones that invite us into a world and make us feel like we belong, and Ryan Coogler is one such filmmaker. I, for one, can't wait to see where Coogler invites us to next. As always, these are my opinions, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on Sinners or Creed in the comments below. If you like that video, I think you're really going to like this one right here. Just click the link, just right there. Film is about community. I'm Mike, and I love movies.